So Kevin Samuels passed on May 5th, 2022. And my first initial reaction to just the rumor of him being going on to glory was well. Like, I didn't feel no ways. I was Omarion in the Vladimir. I didn't feel no ways. I wasn't happy. I wasn't mad. I wasn't sad. I wasn't glad. I felt no ways because I wasn't a fan. I was not his audience. I viewed him. I knew his brand. I knew who he was, but I felt no ways. I was not his fan, right? But I didn't have no ill will towards him. I just did not care for him. And that's probably mostly because I grew up with a father in a household who was married to a mom for over 30 years, as well as I already lived all my 20s. So I definitely was not. I already lived all my 20s. I already went through all the immaturities and dealt with all types of women. So I didn't need a Kevin Samuels or felt it was entertaining. But hey, to each his own, right? Each his own. But why would people go to a Kevin Samuels? Why was Kevin Samuels such a polarizing figure? Why was he the household name that he became? Right? Why was that? Well, roughly during the pandemic, about 2-3 years ago, he started giving relationship advice, specifically to black women, and how it looked like. You remember when Pam and Martin would always get together? Pam would go over to Martin's house, and Martin would just say whatever. Martin would say whatever to her, say how she looked, how she couldn't keep a man, she wasn't doing this, she wasn't doing that, right? And how entertaining and fun that was. Well, that was kind of like Pam and Martin seeing Kevin Samuels talk to these black women, but in real life, right? Except Pam wasn't fighting back. There was no Arsenio Small. There was none of that. Tiny Tim, there was none of that. Pam has some good comebacks, by the way. Pam was good. Especially when you remember Pam when Martin was going to pay the $5. I'm not going to pay the $5. You remember that? And she went on to...
Pam, how much food you got stored up in your cheese? I know she got food because she's swollen right now.
Very funny, Martin. I'm sure you have some lucky charm somewhere hidden on you, little leprechaun.
Huh?
Yeah. Dramatically delicious.
I was not a fan of Kevin Samuels, but at the same time, I don't have no disdain for Kevin Samuels. I feel no ways. So I'm going to be very objective. Now, the question is, why were black women going to this man? I mean, what drew them to try to get advice about how to get a man or relationship advice from Kevin Samuels? Well, we got to speak to he looked the part. Hey, dress to impress, right? He always wore a suit, business casual, always groomed, unlike me. Hair-free, carefree, you know what I mean? Shout out to the hair-free, carefree people, you heard? But he looked the part. Oh, it's had great camera work, background, looked the part. So men and women, black men, black women will listen to him in regards to relationships and how to keep a man or get a man and have realistic expectations and hold these women accountable, right? That's the word. That's the key word. That's the key word. Hold these women accountable, right? He's a truth teller. He told the truth. Set these men free. Told them what needed to be heard. Said what needed to be said. To an extent. Here's the thing. Why black women volunteered to be taught to the way they did with Kevin Samuels, I don't know. All I know is that was my sister, that was my friend, that was my mother, that was my wife and my girlfriend. I would never allow a man to talk to my girl like that. Ever. I just wouldn't. Because of the thing that Kevin Samuels lacked, and that was, to bring it for a circle, compassion. You can be brutally honest. You can say it like it is, but you can still have empathy. You can. You can do it. You can do it. You can do that. He didn't have that. He told it like it was. Said it like it is. Right? Well, it alienated a lot of black women. I mean, fat black women. Right? The whole high value, low value, the rating system. But you're like, what are we in high school? Like, what? Like, rating women? I always found it to be weird. Like, we're rating women? Really? Is that what we doing? Like, come on. At least in Mauritia, they have like a basket where you can like put, things in the basket. But like, what is this? Fonzie and the Happy Days, but right on the bathroom wall is like, what's going on? But yeah, a lot of people were turned off by that. The language used, how Kevin Samuels would communicate to these women. A lot of people were turned off by that. So yeah, you do have this group of women right now, feminists or people that just were a fan of him that are voicing their opinion. Right? Now, I'm not here to tell you what to say, how to say it. That's upon you. However you feel, however you decide to say what you feel is on you. I just want you to remember, especially the content creators and the feminists out there in YouTube land. For those of you that are chastising Kevin Samuels, even in death, do you really think you're that different than Kevin Samuels? You really think you're different when you're telling black women you don't need the black man? The black man ain't protected you. The whole Malcolm X. I know they have to use Malcolm X. The black woman is the most the most disrespected, the most unprotected, and the most neglected. Right? You want to use that, which is true. It is true. That is true. Right? That is true. Black woman is the most disrespected, the most unprotected, and neglected. That is true. That is true. But there is a thing called the black man, who we are treated the most unfairly in society in terms of the news, in terms of the judicial system. I mean, anybody can say whatever about the black man in any realm, whether that's on social media, whether that's on the news, whether that's in real life, in the beauty salons, and in the streets. You can say whatever about men, specifically black men, and black men are just allowed to have, because men are trying to get that ill nana, right? Men try to get that ill nana, so they just allow whatever to happen. And this is where you don't hold women accountable to where you have a Kevin Samuels, which is, once again, somewhat needed. But the thing he was missing was compassion. Same thing that a lot of you women out there that are saying the certain things that you're saying right now. Lacking compassion. I'm not here to talk down on a dead man. I get nothing out of that. Even though I have no connection to him, I still don't feel right trying to talk down on a dead man. I'm giving my perspective, but that's it. I'm not celebrating this. I'm not happy about this. I'm not here to sip no tea. I'm not here to do none of that. So a lot of y'all out here that are doing that, you think you're so different than Kevin Samuels? You need to look in them. I'm going to say look in the man in the mirror, but look in the mirror. You got to look in the mirror, man. I know he said a lot of harsh things. I know he said a lot of bad things. I know he made you feel less than. I know that. I know. Once again, I'm not here to tell you what to say or how to feel. But at the same time, think about everything he did. Think about how you're coming off right now. Okay? Once again, all you feminists out there encouraging black women to get away from black men. You're just a different sheep. You're just sheep in different wool. Different wool clothing. So, but the thing that made Kevin Samuels so polarizing is he was an extremist. Extremists get the notoriety. When you're an extremist, you get notoriety. So you look, even if your intent was not to disrespect, unprotect, and neglect, that's how Kevin Samuels came off. to a lot of people. And that became polarizing. Right? When you're an extremist, you get notoriety. You get the views. You get the attention. It's almost like Trump. You know how it's stay with me. It's almost like Trump. Trump spoke to a lot of Midwest poor white folk that thought they were not being heard, that thought that they were being neglected because black people were getting some type of entitlements with welfare and things of that nature, and the white rich and the government was getting all types of credit. So they felt like they were out the loop. They felt like they were not being heard. So you have a Trump that's speaking all these different things about getting your country back and all these racial and insensitive things, and white folk gravitated toward it. Now, some of it was genuine. Some of them truly felt they weren't being heard, and some were just playing out low down racist. But there was a mixture of a lot of people within the MAGA camp, right? Not all bad, but not all good. So that's how I kind of view this whole Kevin Samuels situation. Not all bad, not all good. You have a lot of men out here that just can't get a woman or have been mistreated in the past. And I look to Kevin Samuels, and that's their champion. He said everything that he's been wanting to say to women, and specifically black women. At the same time, doesn't make it right. Once again, it's your life. That's how you choose to treat women. I would never let I would never let nobody speak to my friend if she was a girl like that. Forget girlfriend, just my friend like that. I would never. I would never. Especially girlfriend, wife, mother. Come on, I would never let anybody speak to anybody that I care for like that. That's just me, because I have something called respect. But neither here nor there. To those of you that are still looking for a spouse, man or woman, black man or black woman, here's some advice. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you're less than. Don't let anybody ever tell you what your value is. Only you can determine your value. You are the one that have to wake up every day and look in the mirror. I hope so, anyway. Look in the mirror. That dirty mirror. And you have to decide what your value is. You can only be treated the way you allow people to treat you. Right? You can only be treated the way you allow people to treat you. So you have to value yourself first. That's the first thing. You can't love anybody until you love yourself. That's the second thing. Third thing, this is important. I don't know if you notice or not, but if you're lost, if you're trying to figure, how do I get a companion? How do I find that person for me? Or just somebody to build with? Well, there's a thing called passion. Finding your passion. In passion, finding your passion. The first thing you do when you wake up, I'm gonna take that sister. I'm gonna take that sister act quote. Yeah, I love that scene. I love the sister act scene. If you wake up singing, find someone that loves to sing. If you love to make music, if you love to dance, find someone that also dances. If you love watching sports, find somebody that loves sports. If you love wrestling, find someone that loves wrestling. If you love politics, find somebody in politics. There is so many things out there in the world. If you love to play video games, find somebody in the video game world. Find what your niche is. Find what you love to do. What's the thing that you watch on your off time, when you're off of work or you're on break? What's the thing that you go to watch? Battle rap, whatever it is. Find it. Build upon that. You have commonality, and maybe you might find someone. Possibly. But that's my suggestion. I'm not here to give advice. I don't have no grooming tip for you outside of please use deodorant. You know, you wanna treat it like a scam at the mall. Just swipe, and you feel so fresh and so clean. But that's all the time I had. like I said, hopefully you got something out of this. I wasn't here to try to slander the man. He's going on to pass on. Hopefully you can learn from this. And my initial thought, I'm gonna be very brutally honest with you. My initial thought was, think about leaving your legacy. That was my message I was going to give to y'all about. Think about leaving your legacy and what legacy you're leaving, because no matter how you feel about Kevin Samuels, he left a legacy. Think about the legacy you're leaving. But then I thought, legacy is only for the dead. Think about the legacy that you're living. Think about your living legacy. So whatever you're doing, whatever your passion is, whatever you do on a day-to-day, I'm a steal from Jimmy V, from UNLV. Try to do 3 things. Or at least one of the 3. Which is, 1, try to get somebody to be deep in thought. Try to say something that gets somebody to be deep in thought. That's 1. 2, say something so moving that somebody might be prone to tears. Not nothing malicious, but something so moving that they might be prone to tears. That's 2. And 3, try to make people laugh. If you do one of the 3, and specifically all 3, no matter who it is, whether it's your mama, your papa, your sister, your brother, your children, your neighbor, the trash man, the cashier at the store, the colleague, no matter who it is, or even here on YouTube, if you could do one of the 3, that's a hell of a day, right? That's leaving your legacy. Legacy should be for a living. Leave a living legacy. That's my advice to you. But that's all the time we have now. You hear? Like, comment, subscribe, share all things are the things. You ain't got home, but you gotta get the hell up out of here. Get the step in. Peace.
There are 3 things we all should do every day. If we do this every day of our life, you're going to have, what a wonderful, number 1 is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number 2 is think. You should spend some time in thought. And number 3 is you should have your emotions moved to tears. Could be happiness or joy. But think about it. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day. You do that 7 days a week, you're going to have something special.